What'd you say? No, he's day to day. He went through most of practice today, and we'll see how he feels tomorrow.
When he does come back, how does he change the series?
How does he change the series? Back in his familiar role, off the bench, gives us another shooter, another ball handler, another defender. But mostly he opens the floor up with his three-point shooting, Michael. I think that's the biggest impact he'll have for us.
When you guys have put yourself in a position to be able to take a 2-0 lead in this series, how important or meaningful would that be to follow through on that?
Well, again, like I told our guys, tomorrow night's game is going to be one of the toughest we've played, just because of the fact that we knew how we felt losing game one. How desperate we come out after game one, and they're going to be no different. They're a talented team, well-coached team. They're not your typical 8 seed, and they're going to come out, breathing fire. And we've got to do the same. We got to come in, protect home. We've done it all year, and we got to do it with a sense of urgency and a toughness that it's going to take to win game two after going up 1-0. As we know, we haven't been in this position very much, so. We just got to go back on how we felt in game two after losing game one.
Coach, what did you like about your fourth quarter defense? So what do you guys have to do to make sure you extend that?
We're going to do some different things. I thought our intensity was good. We made some mistakes, but they were hard mistakes. We're going to make some adjustments of how we guard situations. But again, I don't care what scheme you throw up, or if you don't do it with some toughness and physicality in the fourth quarter, it's not going to work. And that's what we got. That's the first thought process we got to have, is how tough we're going to play, and then we're going to do some different things in different situations that we felt like hurt us.
Dwane, how much of a benefit has it been this year to be able to have Fred play point and have Kyle off the ball?
Huge. It's been, Mike, it's been huge for us, because it gives you another shooter plus another ball handler. Similar to what Corey and Kyle did last year, but Fred's shooting it at a high clip, and just gives us another shooter and ball and another tough guy, another smart guy. He has a calming effect, I think, on everybody with his maturity, the way he plays. He adds a lot to the formula when he comes back in.
When you look at Serge in game one, when he signed with the team, is this kind of how you envision his impact?
Yes, no question. His defensive intensity, Nick, I think is the most important thing that he brings to the table. His toughness, his physicality, and his three-point shooting is an extra weapon. I think three-point shooting is something new to Serge. I think Scotty's probably looking at him and saying, where was this when you were at OKC? But it's a great weapon that we have, is his three-point shooting. He works on it. But most of all, his shot blocking and his defensive presence is huge for us, and his toughness.
Brooks said that he thinks that Serge is underrated nationally. Would you agree with that?
Underrated in what way?
Underrated just as a player defensively, offensively.
I hope he is. I hope they do underestimate him, underrate him, or whatever it is. But not in our building. He's not underrated. He's very, very much valued with his defensive toughness. I disagree with Scotty. I think he's probably trying to hype up Serge, but I think a lot of people respect him, around the league, and his defensive presence, his defensive IQ is unbelievable. Like we'll be watching film and he comes up with different ideas, and we always don't use it, but he's thinking at another level defensively. And again, once he gets a better feel of how to get his three-point shot and all those things, it's going to be even better.
What does he talk from an experience standpoint? I mean, he's played in a lot of playoff games, finals.
That right there. He's played in so many playoff games when he was at OKC. Just the experience of being around a guy like Westbrook and Harden and all those guys, being those big Durant in those special situations, you can't put a dollar value on that. That's invaluable, and you can't give it to anybody. You got to go through it He's been through the ups and downs of trying to make it. I know we beat him back when we were 1-11, and the next year they were going through that, trying to get over the hump phase of their program, and so he's been through the fire, and you can't put a dollar value on that.
How good a talker is he as a defender?
In what language? No, he does. He talks, and there's no way he sees things. He's talking. He's out there on the court giving guys advice. Mike, no, he's unbelievable from that standpoint. He's talking in transition. He made one mistake, which I was surprised in transition. They got a layup on us, and there's two mistakes. He and JV made one on a switch, and he's supposed to have been talking, and they didn't communicate well, and then one in transition. So those are only two defensive mistakes that I remember that he made that probably could have been communicated better.
Yep.
Yep.
As you mentioned on Saturday that with how the game played out, if it was last year, Kyle and DeMar would have felt the pressure to score.
Mm-hmm.
With them being okay with facilitating and other guys taking the lead like Sergio, how does that help those other guys?
Jared, it gives them confidence. It gives them confidence. When you throw me the ball, I can score. I can shoot it. You give me the green light to score. And that's kind of reason why we, tried to instill the offense we did this year, is to have that mentality. Because, again, we, seen teams try to take those two guys out. And, now they're embracing it. They've been embracing it all year. So, it's giving those other guys confidence, whether it's DeLon Wright shooting a three, Serge shooting a three, whether it's, Fred VanVleet shooting a three, whatever. When the ball gets swung around to them, they're ready to pull the trigger. And the most importantly is, Kyle and DeMar have the mindset of embracing pressure, embracing a double team, embracing a corral, embracing a switch, and not trying to dribble around it and feel the pressure. Oh, okay, they're taking me out of the game. No, okay, come on, bring it on, and we have a plan for it. And the willingness to pass the ball and put it on time, on target. I know Kyle had one dying quail the other night, but that was about it. But most of the time they're putting it, on time, on target.
So much of the discussion about the offensive shift has been taking threes. How important is it just to get the defense moving in the first place and get them sort of scrambling?
That's huge, Eric. That's the key thing with it is get the defense going from side to side, and sometimes back to the third side of the floor. And when we do that, it's good for us. And we don't, we're not very good. And I thought when we're playing well, that's what happens.
From a defensive standpoint, when your team is forced into that, like how much more difficult is it for players to make the correct reads and decisions when they are scrambling?
It's tough. The scrambling and the defense is tough, but you just saw Indiana do it yesterday, so it can be done. You do anything hard with intensity. Indiana didn't do anything special against Cleveland yesterday. They were getting after it in their scramble mode, scramble mentality. They were there on catch. And, if you want to win at this level, if you do get caught in the scramble mode, which we do sometimes, you got to get there on the catch and close out the touch and be ready to challenge a shot without fouling. And, you're going to be put in that situation sometimes defensively, and offensively, we want to put the other team in that mode.
Having had Serge here all year this year, does it underscore a little how tough it was to try to integrate him last year?
Yeah, a little bit, Scott. It was more difficult than we thought, especially when pressure hit. Kind of put you in when you don't know the nuances or know each other as well. It's more difficult to in those situations. We had to simplify some things last year just because of PJ and Serge coming in, but that's no excuse. I mean, we had a lot of time, and I probably didn't do a good job of integrating them in quick enough. So, but this year is a different story for him because he knows all the nuances. He's been through training camp and all those things. That's a good point.
Kyle was able to expend a lot of energy on both ends of the floor. Early in the season, was it hard to get him to play lower minutes total?
For Kyle Lowry, you know Kyle very well. He wants to play if he could play 48, he would. you know, and that's his credit. That's who he is. He's a warrior. And, to be honest, I hate to take him out sometimes because he is playing so well, but I do know that he's more effective with a certain minute count. Knowing that he doesn't want to come out, which is good, you admire that, but for him, staying at a certain minute count is beneficial to him. But he's been great all year handling it. At first he was, why am I coming? But he's smart enough to understand why and when he's coming out.
When do you expect to see the benefits of his minutes being reduced?
Well, I think you're seeing him now. Just his intensity. I thought his defensive intensity throughout the game showed, Jared. I think he got back and got into a verticality. He had a couple of charges. Just his all-out play is showing. And that's, we plan to see it now. And I think we are seeing it.
That's not the only place he's had to make sacrifices this season. He's taking less shots, and he's also talked about trying to pick up on some of Fred's calmness as he talks to people and stuff. Have you seen his approach to leadership change?
Yeah, we all mature. I've matured. Kyle's been a great leader this year in a different way. I mean, he is, like you said, more composed and calm, but he's done a great job of leading us. Because, again, our style of play wouldn't have happened without Kyle and DeMar accepting it, embracing it, and selling it to the other players and letting them say, okay, if it's good for me, it's good for you. So they've done a great job of being leaders from that standpoint.
Dwane, outside of DeLon's scoring, were you happy with what he's got from your other young guys that didn't have necessarily any playoff minutes coming in?
Pascal was a little hyped early. I thought he calmed down as the second stint he went in. Jakob, his second stint he went in, he was a little bit more calm. And again, it's a different game, and we expected that. We knew that coming in, and I thought as the game went on, both men handled a second time around, and it'll be better for them tomorrow night too. And they're going to see a different animal in Washington. I think they're going to come out. We got to be ready for their adjustments, and whatever they do to them differently, whether they don't guard them more, or whatever they do, we got to be prepared. They've got to be prepared for it, and we have to be prepared for what how they're going to react to it.
We often talk about make or miss league. Can you count on 16 threes again?
No, again, that's who we are. We're gonna take threes, and we're gonna have nights like our last game. I don't think you're gonna rely on 16. I think we made enough mistakes, hopefully, that we can make up for them in other ways and clean up some of the mistakes we made, that we don't need that many, that we'll get some easier twos or get some stops in other areas that we'll clean up. So hopefully we won't need them. I hope we get them. And we're going to take them. We got to take them. That's who we are. That's what our offense is predicated on. And if we're going to play that style of play, you gotta, it's a make or miss league, and we got to live with what comes our way. And I think we've done that most of the year.